Yeah, get Chris because lockdown's right.
How should I out that?
You'll get Chris and get off and doing that. What's rugby?
When we walk out, there's so many cameras. Got a slab on the shoulder. About 20 yards.
It was only around your birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It used to be February, didn't it?
Last week, wasn't it? You're from a driveway day because I can't
Can't you run me there? Favourite time? No, I'm
Oh, is it only one piece?
Well, a very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome along to the second live stream of the day here in the Forest of Dean on the Wyedean Forest Stages Rally 2024, the final round of the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship. It's been an exciting day so far. Plenty of action this morning on our first location. Second location, in stark contrast to the high speed, we had a slow section with a known impossible hairpin, which has been dug up quite severely. This is going to be interesting to watch. You can see the difference in textures of soil under the wheels of the drivers here when they turn in. We've already had zero car through, and there's been a few clunks from underneath the car. This could be a bit of a car breaker here. We will have to wait and see exactly how over Bob Morgan. Anyway, I mean it's even first 56 over Bob. 56 over Bob. Nick Elsmore is spoiling the podium party at the minute. Non-championship registered crew. 53 seconds behind Matt and Declan. Then I'm sorry for the pause. I was just gathering myself there. It's showing us Nigel and Kaz Jenkins. Llewellyn's just come through. I was thinking then for a second that was an impressive time. That's more like it. The Jenkins Nova going very well, but time slotting in just above them. Obviously, the two-wheel drive 1400 class cars running earlier on the road, so we will see Nigel and Kaz drop down slightly, but still flying this morning. A little Nova, as always, on full tilt, coming through the stage. A few dramas for a few crews, including that of local man Rob Wilson in the Evo. You'll see from the entry, from the results, that Rob doesn't appear on there. Him and Martin Haggart had a bump into a bank. It's probably the best way of putting it, on the right-hander where we were. It looked like it threw the diff or the CV joints or something out on the car. Struggled for traction, struggled for drive, and got limped around the corner and out of the way, and then they managed to get it going again. But notably, they're not here by the looks of things this afternoon. So, real shame for Rob. Nick Elsmore is putting up the fight in second place currently with Matt. We mentioned it being a record-breaking season for Matt and Deck, looking to make it a fourth Welsh Championship win, and that will leapfrog them above Alex Allingham and Andy Marchbank, co-driver for many years with lots of different drivers, but notably Hugh Hunter. 3 wins each in the Pirelli Welsh Championship, so 4 times winners for Matt and Deck if all goes to plan today, and they've got a healthy margin, like I say. So one crew that aren't here this weekend is current championship leaders, Russ Thompson, Steve Link. They're watching from home and hoping that maybe Matt and Deck trip over at some point and the championship is handed to them. So like I say, we're waiting for our first competitor to come through. We start reverse seeded with the 1400 and two-wheel drive cars as usual on these Forest events. Please give us a shout out. If you're watching from home or somewhere around the world, drop us a message into the group chats, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or any of the social media platforms. Drop us a message and you will automatically be entered into a competition to win some Rallying is Life merchandise and goodies that we can't even get hold of ourselves here at Special Stage. So all you need to do is make a comment on the live stream, and we will put you into the draw. A few shout-outs to start with then. Colin Steer, Phil Jones, Richard Slinger's back with us, Neil Constable, Tony Wilkinson is watching. Tony, are we still good to go with the green missile? Is it still firing on all cylinders? They made it past us this morning, did John? So hopefully things are all good in the Evo 3. Great to see John Kane back out again. Graham Tong watching from Bilth Wells. In the first rain for 5 weeks. Ooh, first rain in Bilth Wells for 5 weeks. Are you sure you're in Bilth Wells? Luke Harvey is joining us, and Florence Butler is also watching as well. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. It's the first part of a double header for us here at Special Stage as we make our way over to Cadwell Park for the second round of the Circuit Rally Championship tomorrow. But before then, action begins here on this treacherous, nasty looking bit of stage. Car breaker of a corner as we see David Trofton and Natalie Heath in the I-20 bounce and rattle their way down this very steep approach into the almost impossible hairpin here. Towards the end of the stage, 9 miles is the distance from start to finish on this particular run of the Speech House stage. It's the final time that the crews will tackle this full stage. They will come back here for stage 7, where they'll be running a shortened version of this famous bit of forest. Next up for us then, I'm looking for the 106 XSI. And here it is. Nicely done. Joel Lewis and Scott Husbands in the 106 XSI. Nice line, keeping it out of the ruts and avoiding the big rocks. So we'll be focusing our attentions on the Pirelli Welsh Championship today, but we'll be bringing the action from all the crews here on the Forest of Dean, or the Wyedean Forest Stages as it's known. Great to see so many spectators out in the forests. Please behave yourselves, please stand well back, watch safely and go home at the end of the day to your families and friends. That's what we're after. It also means that the event can then come back next year and entertain us all again. It's a fantastic place to go rallying, and just driving through the stages earlier, wonderful scenery, fantastic colours this time of year as well, right on the English-Welsh border. It really is a special place, and has been for many, many years of rallying all the way through the 70s and 80s and earlier. Okay, third car through. Sounds like a Mini. This won't like these bumps. It's a good line though. Stewart and Jeremy Baker staying out wide and away from the ruts. Not a bad line, just ran a little bit wide really into the soft stuff at the end of the hairpin here, but it wasn't a bad line. Let's just get these Minis through this section, I think is the best bit. As soon as we get past this, it's nice flowing stage again, so just one little real rough bit to deal with. Well, let's see how Craig King and Russell Joseph get on in their similar machine. Much tighter line. Quicker too, weren't they? Great to see the little Minis out and about. Next up, first of the Pirelli Welsh crews, Neville Breach and Martin Corbett in the Avenger. Had a huge overshoot this morning. Oh no, it wasn't the big overshoot, was it? It was an Escort that did the big overshoot. They did have an overshoot. We managed to put it in reverse and get going again. First for the cars to have an overshoot this morning for the Avenger. So hopefully they've calmed themselves down and they're still with us. We'll wait for them to arrive. But, Neville already class winner in the W5 class. bringing the Avenger back out for the 4th time this year. Always great to see an Avenger out on the stages. So keep the messages coming in, guys. Keep chatting to us on the live streams. I'll do my best to get in touch with everybody on both platforms. But obviously, lots of messages throughout the day coming in. Can't say hi to everyone, but Emma Williams, Neil Roston, Phil Jones in Murky Howich, Tom Banks, Sam O'Collis, Chris Williams, Roger Haycox, Lewis Sim, and Trevor Disney all watching. Rob Drew, impossible hairpin is no longer impossible. We'll give it a few more cars, it might well be again. Certainly going to be tough for these crews when they get here and see what lies over in front of them. It won't have been like this the first time round, I can assure you. These guys will have found it nice and smooth first time. Freddie Camp and Stephen Spear, another crew that had an overshoot with us this morning in the Mark 1 Escort. Sense will approach. Waiting to see the first person who comes into view backwards. Tricky little section. It's quite steep down into the hairpin. And you have the sweeping left-hander, which you don't want to hook into the ditch too much because it's very rough in there. You'll hear the bottom of the car clunking on the rocks as you get your wheel stuck in that ditch. And you'll stay out on top of the road, which will throw you out wide. You won't be in the right position for the hairpin, but you won't have damage to the underside of the car. So let's see how people approach this and tackle this section. So Carl Brown and Robert Owen Baker in the Escort Mark 1 struggling with understeer as they came into the hairpin here. Just running on the loose, really, just not turning in there at all, was it, for the car. Being caught quite handsomely by Stuart Spire and Pete Williams in the Corsa. 1400 powered Corsa running in in spec W2. Like I say, these first few cars on the road will have had all the smooth conditions this morning, and now they're seeing this stage in a whole new light second time round. It's quite rough in places further back in the stage as well, but this is probably the worst it's been. So this will be a bit of an eye-opener when they arrive here. Adrian Walk and Matthew Walk in the Ford KA going well. Plenty of grunt in the little 1400. Aggressive lines through there as well. Our car handled it well.
That has to be a new one. He didn't come round.
Let's try and have a little flick round to YouTube and see what's happening. Plenty of people getting in touch. Thank you very much. Nice to see everyone dropping their messages and posts in. Thank you, Lee Stant. Optimus Media, hello from New Zealand. People watching from all around the world. Greek, thank you very much. Yuka from Finland. There's plenty of people watching in South Wales, Kent. Chief Marshal's watching from the Yorkley stage over the road. Thank you very much for joining us. Glad we can bring you a little bit of action while you wait for the cars. Thank you for everything you do for the sport. Stephen Palmer, John Hendrick, Paul and Lees, good morning from Lancaster. Nigel Rusco watching from Oswestry. Thank you very much for getting in touch. Like I said, please, you don't have to send us anything particular. Just drop your name or what you're doing for tea tonight, or what you had for breakfast, or anything you like. Just drop us a message. Tell us what your favourite car is, what you're looking forward to seeing the most, what you miss about rallying, anything like that. Let us know what's going on the socials, and we'll enter you into a chat. I did wonder for a second if it was going over. We'll enter into a chat competition, and you've got every chance of winning some Rallying is Life and Special Stage merchandise, clothing that the guys at Rallying is Life put together for us. A big thank you to them. That was James Dunkley and Jack Morris. Jack's on track for the Under 25 award on the pace note, supplying the prize for the Under 25 category. Luke Watts and Matt Rogers in the MGZR 1400. He's had a tricky season, has Luke. Various difficulties, but out on his home event. Looking forward to trying to pick up some silverware and getting to the end of the stage in one piece. So 4 stages to go here, including this one. Just about half distance, aren't we, really? Still a few miles to contend with, haven't we? Andrew Stokes, Johnny Tad Evans in the ermine white Escort Mark 1, made so familiar with David Stokes all those years back. My brother Andrew takes the wheel. It's great to see that car out and about, still competing at a high level as well. Fantastic stuff. I'm looking to consolidate their class position. It's their 5th event of 2024, so they campaign the Escort all year, really, out on the Welsh Championship. We should see Gary Smith and Clive Jones next up in the Escort. Another of the Pirelli crews. Started the event in the best possible way, being crowned class champions after Jonathan Brace had to pull the entry. Just managing to keep those rear wheels on the road as it dances its way off up the stage. Yeah, big congratulations to Gary Smith and Clive Jones on that W8 class win. Always great to see the hard-charging Nova of Nigel and Kaz Jenkins. 1400 power. They do some giant slaying in that little Nova. We will do our best to bring you some times as we get them through as well.
This one, can you? No.
Some more people joining us from around the world. Thank you to everyone watching in Spain and Switzerland. That's car 101, Jeremy Eason and Mike Reynolds in the Mark 1 Escort, leading the way in the historic two-wheel drive 1400 class. Almost like a category 1 car field, really. So now our attention turns to the single digits, and the next car through should be that of Matthew Hurst and Declan Deere, and we'll see how the Skoda tackles this tricky little section of stage. The trick suspension shouldn't be an issue for it. Just a case of driving sensibly now for the pair and getting through to the finish. Far off. Looking across the valley here, the trees on the far side, that's a great British autumn in a little window there over on the other side of the valley. If producer Wayne spins the camera around and shows all the colours on the trees on the far side of the valley over there. Fantastic to see. This is what autumn in the UK looks like to anyone around the world. It can be a stunning place at times. We do get a bit of miserable weather, but we have to have that to make these trees look as good as they do. It's not a bad part of the world to come and visit. It's the Forest of Dean, and if you happen to be down this way, I strongly advise you to take a trip into here. And yeah, you can come and look for some wild boars. This isn't a Skoda. Let's have a look who's coming through now. Ah, it's the Avenger. Good stuff. Neville Breach and Martin Corbett coming through slightly later than expected. However, that's all right. We don't mind that. They're already class winners on the W5 class. They took that on the previous event on the Cambrian. So I'm just out for a bit of fun today. A little bit of a rally of attrition by the looks of things as well. So I've got notable crews missing there in the first section of the event. So, and we're only just over a third of the way, not quite halfway through the event yet either. So
We're Sarich.
we will be after this one. Waiting and listening patiently for the echo of R5 machinery making its way towards us. Lots of fast, long straights, broken up with tight, twisty sections and rough little sections like this one in front of you here. Keeps the drivers on their toes. Nice balance. Simon Fowler watching on YouTube. Thank you very much, Simon. First time watching Special Stage Live. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you. That's great to hear. Really appreciate those comments. We will enter you into the competition as well for commenting on the live stream. Thank you. Jack W46 watching from the sunny Scottish borders. Can you make sure you keep it that way, please, for next weekend when we're up in the Scottish borders? It's looking a bit nippy up there next week. And try and keep that snow away from the Kielder complex and Twigley's, Castleower and the Forest of A. That'd be nice. We'll have a nice clean run next week. We don't want any disruption. But we will be bringing you all the action live from the Anglo-Caledonian Rally as it happens next weekend.
I want to go there. I'd like to.
So some times coming through then for the first field of crews. Let's have a little look. The Jenkins Nova flew through here. Absolutely flew through here. Stage 4, setting a time of 9 minutes 48 seconds. Closest to that was a 10:20. It's a huge difference. And that was the MG of Luke Watts. That, however, was the first of our four-wheel drive contingency. And that was Matthew Hurst and Declan Deer in that fantastic new-ish, it's not quite as new as it was, Skoda Fabia Rally 2. History in the making, if they can get through this next few stages and bring it back home safely in one piece to Ross-on-Wye. We're not expecting to see Rob Wilson or Martin Haggart in the Lancer Evo 7. Issues for the pair earlier on. It's put pay to their efforts, I think. So next up we should expect Nick Elsmore and Pauline Nash. Local crew. I've been watching Nick through these stages for many years. He's had some audacious lines over the years as well, when I've thought that's a bit of a cut there, look, and then Nick's decided that that's more than a bit of a cut, it's a full car width cut. He knows his way around. Familiar popping and banging from a Mitsubishi Evolution 9. Not registered for Welsh Championship points, but nevertheless going well. Bob Morgan and Aid Williams should be up next in their Fabia R5. You won't find anybody more local than Bob. And don't bet against him having a podium finish here too. He knows these woods, and he'll be going well in that Skoda. We'll see him very shortly, all being well. So yeah, just quickly looking back at the times, the Nigel and Kaz Jenkins set an absolute storming time. To be fair, set an absolute storming time through all the stages. And we'll see where that sits them as these guys come through as well. A good idea of just exactly how quick they are in that little 1400 Nova. Ah, we do have a Mr. Wilson. Fix the car and back out of some fun. Rob Wilson, Martin Haggart. Only 2 outings this year for Rob. He made his mark on this event in 2023 with a spectacular drive to finish second overall.